Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. It's another thing, along with this podcast, that can keep you from murdering people in traffic. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Jumbled, your favorite podcast about nothing. I'm Zach.
I'm Johnny.
Hey, Johnny. Welcome back, bud.
Thanks, man. I would like to apologize to the thousands and thousands of my Jumbled fans who have been sending me countless emails asking why I haven't been around so much the past little bit.
Our Gmail's just flooded, dude.
It really is. Johnny.jumbled at gmail.com. JONNY.jumbled@gmail.com.
Have you honestly made that?
Oh, 100%. And I actually now, it is my a permanent tab on my browser at work so that I can see and check it conveniently.
I like it, dude. I like it. Hey, no big deal, dude. I know you got a lot going on right now, as our listeners are privy to, if they're religiously listening to the podcast, as they should be. You got a big day coming up, man.
I do. I am getting married on September 1st. Nice, easy, round date to remember. And it's good. I'm excited. It's exhausting. I didn't really realize how much effort and thought goes into tiny little details that I did not care about and still don't care about, but try to care about for the betterment of the party.
Sure.
But man, it's exhausting. And I think people are noticing it. 'Cause like, oh, you seem like distracted. Are you nervous? Are you worried about like getting married? Are you anxious? Getting cold feet? And I'm like, no, I'm not getting cold feet. Like, Allie and I have been together for almost 6 years now. We've been engaged for 2. Nothing in our life changes. What stresses me out is just making sure everyone has a good time, which I know the day is supposed to be about us. But I still, I want everyone else to have a good time.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of it, is like you want it to live up to expectations. And like, I think a lot of times especially with weddings, people have like unrealistic expectations almost about how things should be or how things might be. And you want to live up to everybody's expectations, but it's exhausting. So hopefully, I mean, you don't have to deal with that for too much longer,
No, it's a handful of days away. Family's coming in. Everything will get done. At the end of the day, it's not a performance, right? And that's what I have to keep reminding myself. It's not a performance. I will say, though, Allie and I were at one of our good friends' wedding, actually the friend that introduced Allie and I together, this past weekend. So our friend group was all there, and they're all coming to our wedding. And their wedding was fantastic. And I was one of his groomsmen, and I was standing up, and he was reading his vows, and I was just like, fuck, my vows suck compared to this. So I need to maybe go back to the drawing board a little bit and review, revise, light that book on fire and start fresh. I don't know.
You just have to find you got to find some time just to sort of be by yourself and your thoughts, without distractions, because that's how it was for me. Like, I had to completely remove myself and just sort of, write down. It ended up like I had to cut out a bunch of stuff, but like, you just let your brain sort of go out on the page and revise. And
I'm imagining I'm just gonna do like a brain dump on some paper again, and then just slowly whittle it down to what I want to try and say. I'm terrified about crying, man. I'm probably gonna cry. I'm a big softie. And
happened to me, man.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? I've been in a lot of weddings, and people have cried before, and never once have I been like, oh, what a crybaby, or oh, what a pansy. Right. When someone cries, I'm just, I'm always thinking, oh, that's so cute, or that's so sweet. So I don't know why I'm personally self-conscious about it, but I am. But I'm accepting that that's just probably something that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, and no one will really care because they'll be distracted after with the night's events.
I think it's like it's a dude thing, right? So like dudes don't really like other people seeing them cry, right? Because it's sort of like,
it's not
a sign of weakness or whatever. Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, man, like it did not matter. Like when I was up there, at the altar, like it just did not, like I did not care at all who saw me crying. Like it wasn't about everybody else, like you said. It's about
the person
you
standing in front of you, right? And that's where I'm going to focus.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm excited for you, man.
Thanks.
It's gonna be a good time for you. Where are you headed for the honeymoon?
We are taking, so the Sunday after, we're having a barbecue for the out-of-towners. You're invited, by the way. One last dig. Zinger! I'm just kidding. I love you, and I understand. So Sunday we're having a barbecue for people who've traveled. It'll be kind of cool. It's at our house. Just going to do some burgers and dogs and some veggie shit. And then Monday, we're driving out to Jasper, which is a national park. It's in the mountains.
Nice.
And Allie got us a cool little cottage out there. And we're spending 5 days. And we will have no TV, no internet. We will get some cell service, but Allie and I have promised each other that we will not do any bit of work while we're there, which is going to be really exciting. My VP has asked that I turn in my work computer and my work cell phone, and that I delete my work email from my personal cell phone before I leave tomorrow. Tomorrow's my last day before I take the rest of the time off.
Nice.
And I'm pretty excited about that. I mean, I know if anything significant comes up, they'll call me on my personal phone, but she's assured me that they won't be calling. So I'm pretty excited. Al and I are going to read some books, going to do some hiking, do some cliff jumping, and just hang out. We haven't really had a lot of time to just hang out with each other. So yeah.
That's what it's all about, man. Me and my wife we just went like camping down. We like found a state park, or did a state park down around Branson, and then we like caught a couple shows in Branson, and then just sort of went around. Like it was a perfect week. Not a drop of rain. 70 to 75 degrees. So it's good. It's just good to sort of get away from everything,
Oh, for sure. I mean, what more could you ask for than just spending quality time with your significant other, right?
Especially at that point, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So.
Well, hey, you know what?
Joey's coming into town, and I reminded him about the Sunday barbecue, and also that I have a ping pong table.
There better be some Instagram posts with like you guys dressed up in like athletic headbands and stuff.
Just going all out.
Yeah, man.
I might have to pull that bitch upstairs and post it outside on our new deck and just start motoring.
There you go, man.
Give him the old one too.
Yeah, set the table up half just for practice sake. Set it up half and then Forrest Gump it, dude.
That's right. I mean, I used to do that when I was practicing regularly. It's a very helpful tool. The only issue with outside is if it's a little bit windy, it will be an advantage to me because Joe already can't handle my spin. And I don't want to give him any excuses to cry when I smash his face holes.
Yeah, I fully expect there to be a definitive answer on who's the best at ping pong, and I know you'll say that you are, and I know Joe will say that he is.
Yeah, but Joe is not basing it on anything.
I want stats. I want the amount of wins by how much, what the spread was. I want all that stuff. All right.
I am going on a fucking mission after my honeymoon of finding either my old American cell phone, or B, fixing the hard drive that has the backup of that phone on it, so that I can find the Apple Notes that have Joe and I's scores saved, and I am just crushing him. And he knows it, but he also knows that I can't find that, and he's milking it for everything he can.
That's a very Joe Oxley move.
Yeah. I mean, smart. I would do the same thing. Don't get me wrong. But deep down is bullshit, and he knows it. Joe, I'm calling you out right now.
Oh, man.
You punk ass bitch.
Mark ass buster. You know what? You gave me a couple things.
I gave you so many things.
A few reminders to bring up that you wanted to talk about. So
I was looking at my Jumbled book.
Yeah.
And then was looking at my notes. And I started, I had stuff from the last time I was on that we never got to.
Yeah.
I have so many things, and some of them are relevant. Some of them maybe not as funny now. But I do want to ask you a serious question.
Okay, I'm ready. Bring it, man.
Do you know what a Scandinavian traffic cone is?
It's a traffic cone that happens to reside in a Scandinavian country. Seems pretty straightforward. I would assume that, or is that like a weird like sex position? Because
what if I told you it was a weird sex position?
You know what? It's like sex positions are like either like just off the bat that it's a sex position, or it has like an alternate meaning.
Well, I should clarify. This isn't necessarily a sex position as much as it is an activity related to sexual like actions.
So it's like a Cleveland steamer almost.
So imagine a Cleveland steamer and times it by approximately 100.
Oh no!
Do you want to know what the Scandinavian traffic cone is?
I don't know. Yeah, yes, I do. I'm curious now.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. All right, so how you start off is by getting a traffic cone, also known as a pylon.
Okay.
All right. You insert that pylon, the little end first, obviously.
Okay.
Into your partner's anus.
Is that possible? Is that a thing that can happen?
Well, I'm sure there's varying sizes of traffic cones, and you'd obviously probably start small, like with one of those little athletic trainer tiny cones, and work your way up to those like 4 foot tall ones.
That's what I was thinking of. Like right off the bat, I was like, that seems like a really big first step.
Well, some people are experienced or to go big. So you insert the little end, preferably, into the anus of your partner.
Okay.
And then you proceed to urinate, defecate, and vomit into the traffic cone.
No.
And then to make it that much worse, you get a plunger, insert the plunger into the big end of the traffic cone, and force the serum that you've created into your partner's lower intestine.
All right, guys. So make sure that you check us out on all social media. What, I just wrapped it up right there. Oh God, dude, that is disgusting.
Zach, what if?
What if, hold on. This is the next sentence you're gonna say. What if I were to tell you that I did that this past week?
No. I was gonna say, what if I told you it's not over there?
I'm speechless, dude. There's no way. That's it.
Do you want to know
you're
the back
lying,
half?
right?
No. Do you want to know the back half?
I'm assuming that mixture is going to be consumed.
Partially, yeah. So now that it's inside your partner's lower intestine,
just keep going. I'm going to lay my head down.
What you do, Zach, is you feed your partner a bunch of laxatives,
No.
wait a little bit, and then have them defecate a mixture of their bodily secretions and the ones you shoved into them onto you while, and here's the real kicker, here is the cherry on the top of the cake, while you wear the traffic cone as a hat.
How fucked up were you to think of this? This came out of the brain of Johnny. Like this.
No,
there's
I did
no
not
way.
make this
There's
up.
no way.
I did not.
You got like fucking stoned out of your mind. All right, let's not lie, dude. You got stoned out of your mind. All right, and then you and your buddies came up with a really fucking ridiculous sex act. Exactly. I'm pretty sure that's illegal in 99% of the nations of
well,
the
that's
of
why
this
it's
planet.
Scandinavian, okay? They're crazy out there, apparently. I don't know. So I will admit that I heard about the Scandinavian traffic cone on a different podcast and had a very similar response as you did to it. And I looked it up, and it is confirmed. It is on Urban Dictionary. You could look it up right now. I am not creative enough, and I'm also kind of glad I'm not creative enough to think of such an act. But yeah, so remember the previous game we played about what would Zach do for $50?
Not that.
Oh, we found a line.
Not that.
All right, guys, we've lowered the anything bar
Yeah.
decently. I'd still think there's a significant amount of stuff we can explore between the, just below the Scandinavian traffic cone that we can get Zach to do for $50, but
I'm just gonna start saying I did the stuff. Like that's it. Yeah.
Listeners
totally
start
did
sending you $50.
it. Yeah, totally did it. Send me my money.
Oh man.
That's a good segue, and I wrote down something, and you and I both look at the same website for our pornographic needs. We've talked about this.
Yeah, although I will say I did try and switch to Pornhub.
Mm-hmm.
And though that I noticed that there was different material, some of the same videos, but different.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it, but the interface just was not working for me.
Yeah, it's a bit different. One thing I never understood, on every single video, there's a comment section.
There is? Oh, there is. I think we've had this conversation of who the fuck is commenting on those videos?
Who's doing that? Like, I just rubbed one. All right, my hand's still glazed. Let me try to check this out with my left hand,
and my right elbow,
and my nose, like just using everything but your. It's like, what kind of person? Do you think you know some people out there, right? Or do you know somebody personally that is the kind of person that would do that? That would.
There's
go out
definitely a kid that I went to junior high with, mm-hmm. who I haven't really spoken with in a long time. Mike also knows him and will know exactly who I'm talking about. He's the kind of guy who definitely would leave comments. So I'm gonna kind of try and make it a habit to read those comments and report back on my statistical findings.
All right, sounds good. My preliminary guess is you're rarely gonna run into a female that's commenting on those videos.
Oh yeah, probably not.
And then they're all probably gonna just be, I don't know, just fucking, I don't know. Like I would assume it's probably the same kind of guys who they're sort of skeezy. You see them at, like, I don't know, public places hitting on chicks and whatnot. Those are probably the same kind of guys going out getting Jaeger bombs and
Jaeger bomb. Yeah.
Jaeger bomb, and then go home and then comment on the porn video they just jerked off to. Like, that's not even remotely close to where I am mentally. After
I usually just have shame.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, you just deal with a bunch of shame afterwards.
Why did I watch that video?
And then you go shave your palms. Is that what you're telling me?
Yep, exactly.
You dirty little guy.
I'm dirty little guy. So Zach, how do you feel about the up and coming draft in the U.S.?
Nope.
The Space Force draft.
The Space Force draft. Well, I know for one, I will not be signing up for it.
You're not going to sign up for Space Force?
Nope.
Man, don't you want to be a spaceship side gunner? Like, how badass of a title is that?
I think Joe would do it.
He's really into Fortnite right now. I feel like that's probably accurate.
He's not the only one, dude.
Really into Fortnite?
I'm roped. I've been roped.
Are you roped? Oh my god.
Dude, I've been roped into it, dude. You haven't played yet. You said you were going to, but we haven't done it yet.
Thought about it and then I thought about some more and thought to myself, nah.
All right, that's fair.
I mean, maybe. I'm a never say never. I'm a never say never kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I would get into it. I might try it. I think after the wedding and stuff finishes, things will slow down. Although then we quickly approach hunting season, so then I'll also be busy for that.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll make some time. I could get down just to hear your and Joe's voice.
Yeah. If nothing else, it's just I don't know, dude. It's a fun little escape.
Yeah, man. Escapes are good.
Yeah. No, but I don't want to be any part of the Space Force.
How do you feel that your government is willing to invest funds into such a force?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's sort of ridiculous, personally. But I don't know. I mean, if we're to believe what Jer has said in the conspiracy theory series, it's already happening.
That's true. And now they're just doing the kind of we're going slow public thing that Jer's talked about.
Right.
Jer, this is a moment. Remember when we last had an episode and I said maybe Jer's right about more things than we realize?
Yep.
This is another thing that Jer did tell us was going to happen months ago.
It's true.
My God. Jer's actually going to be over tomorrow, and I'm going to have to ask him about this.
He's got a good track record so far.
He creepily is starting to rack up some points in the correct column.
You got to think at a certain point though, he's gonna have a dry spell though. Like you got to think like, I mean,
But we're in like uncharted territory here. What's considered a dry spell when predicting such crazy things? Right now, in the past, I don't know, month, 2 months, he's had 2 things come true, 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's averaging 1 a month, that's pretty crazy. If he was averaging 1 every 6 months, I'd probably be worried.
Yeah, I guess that's
somewhere
true.
down the list, lizard people are coming. Fuck.
It's true, man. I saw speaking of lizard people and our good buddy Mark Zuckerberg. I saw a video. I don't know if you've ever seen it. He's like in his backyard. And somebody's done they've cut all these clips together. He was doing a live stream. Somebody downloaded the live stream, and then they cut in all the parts he was talking about smoking meats in a smoker or whatever. So he just keeps saying smoking the meats, smoking these meats, and he's like eventually you're like, Mark Zuckerberg's just said smoke meats about 4 different times in the last 2 seconds. And you'll have to look it up, man. It's actually really, really funny.
That poor lizard guy. He's just looking excited to eat someone publicly.
He's very excited. But he also just doesn't have a pulse, I think, on the internet, which is funny from a guy who is the leader of social media.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, that some of his videos that he's put out, I feel it's just not to the level that I'm used to, and it just felt not engaging at all.
Right. Yeah. I think he he probably wanted Facebook to just stop at colleges, right? Like that's where he was good with sort of hanging it up, but then it became this big thing and now he's roped into it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just think it's funny that somebody cut Mark Zuckerberg saying smoked meats so many different times.
It's probably his ringtone right now.
Like, the internet is just so much about the meme culture. Like, everybody's looking to meme something, you know?
Do you think that's going to go away?
No.
I'm getting kind of tired of memes.
No. I mean, and a meme has sort of transformed, too. Like, it used to just be text on a picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now you don't really see that anymore. Now it's just, like, GIFs and, you know, people doing these quote-unquote challenges or whatever. It's all... It's a culture now. Like, it's just...
It's true. There are people that really dedicate a lot of their life to that, to put a lot of value. And don't get me wrong, I get a chuckle out of some, and every once in a while I see one and it actually makes me giggle.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's overdone now. Everything is a fucking meme.
It's true. I don't know, though, dude. Because you're always... I feel like the trolls also are at the head of the memes, you know? Because they're creating the memes, and then they're also, like, working together to get people all pissed off so that they can start fights and stuff.
Where did the name Mimi come from?
I don't know.
Why are they called memes?
I don't know. I like that you're saying Mimi, though.
The Mimi?
Yeah, man.
I love them memes.
I actually don't know why they call them memes. I have a feeling it probably was something that came off of like 4chan or something like
everything
that.
Cool starts in 4chan, apparently.
Apparently. And all the things we don't know, that's where all the information comes from, dude. Just release it all out on 4chan. You had some other stuff that you wanted me to bring up. Number one, fast hands, slow brain. What does that mean?
Oh, man. So, Allie and I had a plan about taking pictures, wedding pictures with my Corolla, which has been somewhat neglected for the last little bit. Okay. So I've been trying to get it a little bit more presentable, putting all new interior in it and carpet and getting it kind of mechanically sound and whatnot. So the other night I was working on carpet. So I ordered carpet and it was kind of cut. It's rough cut and formed to fit, but you need to use a heat gun.
Right.
So I'm heating up the carpet, molding, pushing it in, blah, blah, blah. And then I set the heat gun down on a workbench and I'm working on a little interior piece and I kick the cable of the heat gun. And the heat gun starts falling. And you know how like sometimes things slow down?
Oh, sure, yeah.
So I don't know if this is truly, slow brain, faster hands, or just too fast. I don't know. But things slowed down, and in my thought, I was saying, this is kind of hot. But as I was saying, this is kind of hot, like, don't catch it, like telling myself, don't catch it, it's a heat gun, I still caught it. And it was a beautiful snag. And then my next thought was, hey, I did it, but man, this thing is really cold. And then I looked down and I was like, oh no, that's really hot. And then I put the heat gun down and I burnt my hand real well, which was the start of a fantastic evening. Yeah. So I burned my hand pretty well, really pissed off because it was dumb. And I knew it was dumb and I knew I should have just let it hit the floor. Mm-hmm. And so I'm trying to do some first aid in the garage, covering it up because I'm trying to finish. And the pain's getting worse and worse and worse. So then I go inside and say I need to get a proper bandage. And I'm running it under cool water and whatnot. And Al comes out and sees me bandaging my hand. She's like, what did you do? And I was like, I burnt it. And she's well, maybe you should take the night off. I was like, no, I can't. I don't have time for this. So I go back out, keep working on the carpet. And then this goes into the next part of my story where I almost cut my thumb off. So I'm already tilted, pretty pissed off, angry at this carpet, angry that it's not fitting properly, angry that I burnt my hand and that it's throbbing and I'm trying to grab things. And then I'm just grabbing random cylinder shaped things or anything metal in my garage just to hold to get something cool on the burn.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm walking around like carrying a can of spray paint and trying to like work, and then I'm picking up a big wrench because it's cold. So I just look ridiculous. And so I'm inside my car, kind of awkward. It's a small car and I'm a large man, and I'm cutting the carpet to make some space for my transmission tunnel and where some trimming was. And I'm trying to hold this like can, keeping some pressure on the burn to keep it cool while holding the carpet. And I'm wiggling around, awkward position, and I slip and start bringing the knife closer to me, not paying attention that my thumb was in the way. And again, maybe I'm turning into a superhero, I don't know, but time slowed down enough for me to say, oh, that's a razor blade, and oh, that's my thumb. And I managed to lift up just enough. So I just nicked it, but gave myself a pretty good nick. Probably a couple stitches worth. So I start bleeding immediately and then being real pissed and worried about bleeding on my carpet. And then I'm worried because I cut this crazy jagged edge into my carpet that you can see. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to fix that, trying to like bleeding. I'm like, fuck, I have to go back inside. Goddamn Medikit.
Every time you go back in, Allie just sees you with another injury.
Yeah. So I walk in, I'm bleeding everywhere. I'm like, Allie, I need your help. I need you to get Medikit.
Alright guys, let's take a second to talk about our sponsor for today's podcast, Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. They've got all the books. I've talked about it before. I'll talk about it again. You know what? I don't have a problem saying things over and over again. I've got 2 kids. I do it all the time. The book that we're going to be talking about for the month of August is Failure is an Option by H. John Benjamin. You might know H. John Benjamin mostly from his voice acting stuff. He's been in Bob's Burgers. He's also a star of Archer. And he was also a can of mixed vegetables in 2015's Wet Hot American Summer. Might have caught that on Netflix. He's just wanting to remind you that as much of a success as you might be, there's going to be some failures as well. Some of the ones that he talks about would be work, where he's unable to deliver a sizzling fajita to his family, where a trip to P.F. Chang's fractures his family. So, fans of his character signature wit and voice will really, really enjoy this one. Enjoy all of his failures and appreciate a look into the life of the man behind the favorite shows. So, if that sounds like something that you would be interested in, head over, check it out. Again, this one is Failure is an Option, but I'll tell you what isn't an option, and that's turning down the option to head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled. Because listen, if you don't get that free 30-day trial and a free audiobook, then an angel gets syphilis, and we all know that.
She comes up, what did you do? Like, cut myself. She's like, fuck, I'll get the keys. Let's go get stitches. I'm like, no, I don't need stitches. I need a Band-Aid and some tape. Yeah. So I took a bunch of toilet paper and like wrapped it around my thumb, taped it real tight, got the bleeding to kind of stop, went to the garage, and then just super glued the shit out of it. And now I'm like good to go. But Al was really pissed because this was, a week and a bit out from our wedding, 2 weeks out from our wedding. And at the time, I had a little bit of a black eye. I had my cauliflower ear was inflamed, and I had bandages on both hands.
You just look like a dumpster fire of a person.
Oh my god, 100% dumpster fire. And I was like, "Al, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll heal. It'll be okay." And my other superpower is apparently being kind of like Wolverine because I healed pretty quick. The burn is pretty much healed. The super glue did its job, and my thumb is back together. No more black eyes.
Cauliflower ears all taken care of now?
It's still there. It's coming back, but it's slowing down from sucking out like 5 to 6 milliliters to only about 1 a day.
Okay.
And it's starting to turn some kind of cool yellow red color, which means it's healing and it's not bleeding as much anymore.
Nice.
So yeah, it's getting better. It'll always
dude.
be a little bit disfigured, but it's not too bad.
Yeah.
I've been pretty diligent about draining it.
Yeah. So it was about, I don't know, sometime last week. I looked at my elbow and I was like, oh, I got a little whitehead on my elbow.
Oh, yep.
So yeah, so I was like, oh, I'll pop it, whatever, like anybody's like, oh yeah, it's a pimple, you pop it, that's what you do. So I popped it, and then this past weekend, it was like, I think it was Saturday morning, I woke up and my elbow was like on fire, like hurting so bad, and really hot and red, and it was starting to swell. And
did a spider lay eggs in you?
No, I wish, dude. Because
did a fly lay eggs in you?
Isn't that how you become Spider-Man?
Something about that, yeah. That sounds right.
Spider lays eggs.
Spiders and a man makes Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, so no larvae or anything coming out of a wound.
I don't know if I'm happy or sad about that, to be honest.
Well, I'm feeling good about it because have you ever seen like videos like people where like
it's so gross.
Flies,
it's so
bot flies
gross.
pulled out.
I hate when they have videos of something that makes it into someone's ear.
Oh, I love that, dude.
It's you're disgusting.
It's like a cockroach or something.
And they shove the little camera with a light down there, and you just see this bug looking out, backed up into your ear canal, be like, "What the fuck?" Ugh. Oh, that's my worst nightmare. Next to things underwater that shouldn't be underwater.
I don't know why, I only see, it only seems like it's, all the videos are, in India. I don't know what it is. I've never seen, a bug removed from an ear, a video of it, just, some white dude. I don't know what that is.
Is that maybe just because in more tropical climates there's crazier bugs?
Maybe.
I don't know.
That could be. But I do watch that Dr. Pimple Popper and stuff like that, dude.
Oh, you're disgusting.
It doesn't mess me up, dude.
You're enjoying when I send you ear pictures of me draining it? Is that on the same level or is it different because it's not pus? Am I turning you on, Zach? Am I turning you on over Snapchat?
Listen. Just because I have an erection every time I see your name pop up on my
doesn't mean you're phone. Turning me on.
It's like what do they call that? Where it's like a little bell or something, and that makes you do something.
Pavlov's dogs.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like every time I see your name pop up on my phone, it's just rock hard, dude.
Well, that's what I expect really whenever I call anyone. So
yeah. Nice. But back to my elbow. So it got really swollen red, and then we put some of this homeopathic salve stuff on it. It's called Prid, and it's
Prid.
PRID. But you use it for boils and stuff like that. And I've had staph infections and stuff before, so I thought it was
those are scary.
Yeah, I thought it was one of those, and it's still a little tender, but there's nothing in there. But yeah, it just went right back down. Swelling went away, and I was actually really happy about that because don't nobody want to pay a copay. You don't know about that though, do you, Johnny?
No, I don't.
You don't know about that copay life.
I mean, I know what it is, and I feel bad for you guys.
I laugh because I'm sad,
It's okay, Zachy. It's okay.
Yeah. So you almost cut your hand off or cut your thumb off. You almost, or you did burn yourself. You told me about the Scandinavian traffic cone. The last thing you wanted me to bring up is the power of a Hyundai Accent. What is that all about?
Ooh, yeah. So I think I told the story about a couple years ago when my truck got stolen, and somehow that turned out that Allie got a new truck and I got to drive her old car, which is a 2012 Hyundai Accent hatchback. Oh yeah. Which I hate, but have also learned to love over the past year.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like a go-kart. So as you know, I'm an aggressive driver at times,
Sure.
but also trained. So typically only race on the track. Let's, and I'm not saying that I've been racing in general, but what I will say is part of my de-stressing is driving,
Mm-hmm.
and driving hard. And on my way home from the gym, there's this awesome on-ramp that's basically a big C shape, almost a full circle, or an oval. I guess an oval, like a NASCAR track is kind of a good way to describe it.
Sure.
And I take it almost every day, basically every day that I go to the gym. And I've gotten pretty good at driving it, and I know the limits of that Hyundai Accent. And like the suggested speed limit says like 30 kilometers an hour or something, 40 kilometers an hour. And I'm pretty confident at going into that turn going 90 kilometers an hour, which is like 60 miles
Sure.
per hour. And the tires squeal a bit, but I know the line, and I know the traction, the friction points for the car, and how much I can push it. So I love doing this turn, and this has become my 15-second happy moment on the way home from the gym, that I will slow down or speed up depending on traffic and people getting in and out of that lane, just so that I know I have the space. So what's started to happen, because I leave the gym and that's a popular road for people in fancy cars to rip up and down, sometimes I slow down to give the person in front of me space, and then a person behind me catches up who may or may not be in a really fancy Japanese sports car. Okay. And sometimes they honk because you slow down, and then I rip through the turn. It's no big deal. I don't care because I want to enjoy that turn. But right. So this guy tried to, like, he came up on me and then was honking, and there was a bunch of traffic in the left lane, so he couldn't pass me, and making gestures at me, and I just like put my finger up in the rearview mirror and gave him the no like finger shake, and I put the Hyundai Accent over from automatic to sport mode, which is basically
just paddle shifting pretty much,
except it's not paddles. You actually have to push the stick up or down. Put it over into manual mode, drop it down into like third, so I'm almost like redlining hard, and I start like speeding up and start taking this turn. Well, this guy behind me didn't like my finger wave, and he sped up coming at me to take this turn, probably thinking, look at this idiot in this Hyundai Accent, and I'm in this really cool Japanese car. And I was thinking, look at this idiot. He is way too shallow on this turn and is going to wash out. So I hit this turn and start accelerating through, and I look back in my rearview mirror, and he's kind of staying, but he's way too shallow, and then gets around to the apex of the turn and realizes that he's too shallow and cranks on his wheel, and washes out and scrapes his back bumper on the guardrail. And as I'm just going through this turn, leaning, looking, laughing, and tires, all four tires squealing on this Accent, just into the merge lane. I'm going the speed of traffic of the merge lane, which is 60 miles an hour, like 90 kilometers.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I get onto the main road, it's 90, and then it goes down to 70 and then 60, and I just immediately slow down and go back to driving exactly the speed limit, just like a happy old man in this Hyundai Accent. So I was super stoked on this because I thought it was hilarious that this guy got ballsy with me.
Oh, dude.
And that he was one of those stereotypical kids that bought like a great car that's fast, but they can only drive it in a straight line. And when you put any kind of turn into the mix, they have no concept.
Yeah.
Like boy street racers are typically the worst drivers.
Yeah.
So a few days later, the week later, I'm doing the exact same thing. And I'm minding my own business, and this blonde woman rams up behind me in a Honda Accord, which has a 300 horsepower, I'm saying in quotations, and she's trying to pass me, but she can't, and I'm leaving people distant, like space in the front, so that people are merging on and off of that road. So I'm making sure it's clear and it's safe. And we do the same thing. I hit that turn hard, and she's trying to like ride my ass because she's pissed off at me. She can't keep up in the exact same spot. She slams on her brakes and kind of like skids forward, but recovers, doesn't hit her car. And I kind of watched to make sure that she didn't crash or anything, because if she needed assistance, I would have stopped. And I do the exact same thing, hit that merge lane, go in the speed of traffic, pop over, and immediately slow down. And I'm just doing my like chill putzing, and she does the classic flyby. She like, just pins it right by me, gives me a dirty look. It flies by, gets over, like kind of half cuts me off, and then goes into the next turn lane, which I'm also going into, and tries to beat the advanced light. Doesn't make it, slams on her brakes, and is now kind of 45 in the middle of the intersection on a double red, while the lanes, she was lucky, it's a pre-turn and not like at the end of the light turn.
Right.
So cars are going, on both her sides, and she's stuck there looking like this idiot, and I'm laughing, just laughing at her, like, wow, that was really worth it, wasn't it? So she gets through the intersection, lights change, and then the next turn I get to go, and I pull into my cul-de-sac area. Mm-hmm. She lives on my block.
No way.
So I come around just laughing at this moment, like, what an idiot, blah, 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 blah. Come around, and then I'm like, oh shit, there's the car. And then I look, and it's the exact same woman, and she looks at me, and I look at her, and we have this moment of eye contact, and I just immediately snap forward and just thought to myself, fuck.
Oh, I love that, dude.
So I parked and just kind of walked into my house nonchalantly.
That's, oh my god. I don't understand people who have like who get road rage.
I don't either. I never get road rage. Even the other night, Allie and I were driving home from downtown. Mm-hmm. Actually, James's wedding, and a dude cut me off real hard. Dickhead move. Oblivious. He was just oblivious, and. Right. I wasn't mad. I was kind of like, wow, you're an idiot, but I understand people make mistakes. And then he immediately saw me and he waved. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not mad at you at all. I appreciate that you're like, oh, I made a mistake. Yeah. I own that. Ownership to me, I don't care if people make mistakes. I care when they try and make excuses for them. Mm-hmm. And that dude was just, I fucked up. I'm sorry, bud. And I just waved back and we went on our merry way. But I know I have some friends even that if that happened to them, their whole fucking day would be ruined.
Yeah, especially if it's happening like morning rush hour or something, where it's like you got to try to move on from that moment. I can see how that could be like a stressful thing or whatever, but I think at a certain point you just got to let it not hit you that hard. You know what I'm saying? Agree. Like, let it roll off your shoulders. Like, there was when I had my MR2 a long while back.
Rest in peace, beautiful car.
Yeah, rest in peace. It was gone too soon. But me and my brother were driving on some country roads, and it was a 2-lane highway, but so it had oncoming traffic, but you could pass if it was clear enough, whatever. So we're behind this Ford Aerostar. It had to have been from like 92 or something. And so he's driving 10 miles an hour under the speed limit. And so I'm just trying to get around him, so I cut over in the lane, traffic cleared. I cut over in the lane. It's pitch black, like it's the middle of the night. And I start speeding up to try to get around him. And then this asshole in the Aerostar starts speeding up too.
Oh, I hate when people do that.
So now we're having a fucking drag race, and then off in the distance, I see some headlights peeking over the horizon, and then they get closer and closer, and I got over with a couple seconds to spare, but it's like what possesses somebody to get to that frame of mind where it's like, they're the master of the road.
Yeah.
You know?
You have to do what I want you to do.
Right, and it wasn't like I was wanting to go over the speed limit. I was just wanting to get around him so that I could continue.
Go the speed limit.
And go the speed limit, yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, that sucks. I hate when people do that. I will say, if I see someone doing stuff like that, I will go out of my way to make their drive inconvenient for them. So when I will kind of block them a little bit if they're trying to get over, just to be a dick back. But I don't do it from an angry perspective. I just do it kind of like a vigilante. I'm Batman of the streets.
Batman of the streets, dude. Oh god. I see people. You know what? I have to be in the right frame of mind. But I do that sometimes where it's like I know that there's like a lane that needs to merge, and I see it up ahead, and people are already starting to merge over, and then you see these people who just fly
all the way
by
to the
you
end.
and go all the way to the end. Instead of just doing the zipper merge, you know, they decide
they're really important.
Yeah, they're very important, and so they cut in front of everybody. And so when I see people doing that, like way back, I'll like get over like 3/4. So like I'm still partially in one lane, but I'm holding a good amount of the other lane. But then you still have those people who just don't give a shit, and they'll like cut just around you, even if they have to get over in the emergency lane or something, you know?
Yeah. I don't understand people, and I just remind myself that they're really important, and they're probably a doctor on a way to save someone's life.
Oh god, yeah. And then I always feel bad, and then I'm like, oh, I could have ended somebody's life today.
Yeah, exactly. So you just, let it go.
Yeah. Let it go, dude.
Let it go.
Have you seen Deadpool 2? I know that's an old one.
Of course I've seen Deadpool 2. I saw it 3 times the week it came out.
You told me about that. I just saw it.
Wow. What did you think?
It was amazing.
It was really good. Really? I thought it was not as good as the first one the first couple times I watched it, but then after seeing it the third and maybe fourth time, you start picking up on little things. And there were parts where they really tried to force... It's the classic sequel where they take what was great about the first one and then shove it down your throat in the second one.
Right.
And I did feel like they did that a little bit. But some of them were really witty, and there were a lot of little Easter eggs in the background that I loved. Some things that I just didn't always see the first couple times.
Yeah.
I love that Juggernaut was in it.
Oh my god, so good.
And I love how proper they made him.
Yeah.
Like, just giant. Spoiler alert, I guess. Is it a spoiler alert? That movie's kind of old now. It's on DVD. If you haven't seen it yet, just stop listening to our podcast.
Don't even come back, is what you're saying. If you haven't seen Deadpool 2 yet, just stop listening.
If you ain't a fan of the DP, you ain't a fan of me.
Unsubscribe. We don't want to be in your feed. All right, no, I'm just kidding.
Please don't leave us. We love you.
Please don't leave. The numbers are rising. Please don't leave.
No.
Yeah, no. So, I saw that. It's been a couple nights ago, I think. Maybe, what was it, last night? I might have been last night, but so good. Tore me up at the beginning.
Yeah. It was deeper.
Oh, hey Johnny, you know what it is?
What?
Holy shit, it's a spoiler alert. Bend down, grab your ankles, and prepare to take whatever bullshit they're getting ready to cram into your ears. Haven't seen the movie yet, have you? Oh, too bad.
You know I love me some spoiler alerts.
Yeah, man. So it tore me right the fuck up whenever they're like talking about their unborn child's name that's yet to be conceived.
Oh.
And then the fucking guys come in, and then that bullet. Oh, the worst bullet in movie history, dude.
Yeah, I imagine you get a lot of dad feelings from that.
I do.
And I loved the way that he killed that dude.
Oh yeah, he hugged him and then threw him in front of
threw him both in front.
himself in front of the the semi.
Yeah. I thought it was really good. I loved it. I suspect they'll make a third. They'll probably do it infinitely.
Yeah.
Um,
I actually heard the next one was the next iteration of whatever Deadpool is going to be in is going to be an X-Force movie.
Yeah, they were trying to tease that out, and they kind of like fucked a lot of the characters from X-Force, but there's still a lot going on there that they can do.
You had fucking Terry Crews die in a windshield, and you had the fucking invisible dude get caught in a Vanish or whatever his name was, caught in an electrical line, and then
did you see who that was?
Was it Brad Pitt?
It was Brad Pitt. Yeah.
Look, I thought it was. I was like, I actually looked at my wife and I was like, I really hope at the end of this, because I had no idea how it was going to pan out. I was like, I hope in the credits or something they credit Vanish with like Tom Cruise or something. And then
no, it was Brad Pitt.
Yeah, it's really funny.
So you know when Cable first makes it to the current timeline and there's the fat farmers, one of them's it's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
No shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's both. Yeah.
The guys talking about wiping their asses and stuff?
They have the beers or whatever.
Oh my god. No way, dude. That was some crazy prosthesis or something, dude.
Yeah, it's nuts. Al found out about that one, I think. I loved what they did with Domino.
Mm-hmm.
Domino, I really like Domino as a character. And that actor who played her was brilliant and fit the role, and I just loved the banter between Luck isn't a superpower or it is a superpower,
right?
And she's just like, fuck it, and just goes with it, and it works out. It's hilarious,
dude. It's amazing.
And that like Deadpool is the least lucky guy ever, so anything that can go wrong goes wrong for him, and she's just like walking out unscathed.
Yeah, I like the part where Cable, like he jumps out of that portion of the inmate or the mutant truck or whatever. He jumps out as it's exploding to get into the part that's still driving, and then Deadpool's like, I can do that, and then he just fucking jumps and he's like, no, I can't. And he's like,
it just rolls.
It just rolls. It's just Ryan Reynolds is.
He was born to play that role.
He's born to play Deadpool. And I also like before the credits or like during the credits or whatever at the end, how they had it was just Deadpool going around and like fixing time, right?
Yeah.
Just going back in time.
And he
like,
kills himself.
He kills himself. He's like Ryan Reynolds looking at the Green Lantern script. Oh my god.
So he killed himself there, but then he also killed himself as Weapon X.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so
I didn't see that part. I think I walked away for a minute or something like that.
Oh, unless that was a different cutscene that didn't make it. But yeah, there's part of that cutscene where he goes back in time. He kills Ryan Reynolds for reading Green Lantern script. And then he goes to like X-Men. Which X-Men was it where Deadpool first made an appearance? And where they're in the nuclear facility and they're fighting Sabretooth, Wolverine and Sabretooth are fighting Weapon X. Yeah. He kills Weapon X there, which I also thought was pretty funny.
Oh, yeah, no, and he shot him like 14 times or something like that. Yeah. No, I did see that part, yeah.
Those little bits, I fucking love. I mean, I love Deadpool comics and I still read them. He's one of my favorite from characters from the Marvel Universe. Yeah. But Ryan Reynolds does it so well, even to the point now when I read those not like graphic novels or comics.
Yeah,
I hear Deadpool's voice as Ryan Reynolds' voice now.
Oh, 100%.
And I don't actually remember what Deadpool's voice was to me before. And I just had that thought, like, it's really weird to think about that I read those comics for so long and I had a voice for Deadpool. I don't remember what it is. All I hear is Ryan Reynolds now.
God, that's really weird how we can't recall things like that.
Yeah. Terrifying, actually.
But, I mean, when somebody is made to be a character as much as Ryan Reynolds is made to be Deadpool, it just fits. It works. So yeah, that was a great one. I'm trying to think of some other moments. Oh, where he was dying for fucking
So
7 minutes, and you like.
I was really annoyed with that part the first time I watched it because I knew it was coming. I knew that was going to be that moment. I
Right.
didn't expect him to drag it on as long as they did, and I
Right.
was really pissed the first time. I did start to enjoy it more and more the more times that I saw it.
I was loving it right off the
I
bat
that
because
is
I
very much something that you would love for humor.
yeah. He I knew it was coming, just like you said. I mean, you could see it coming a mile away. But it got to the point, like, even when he died, at the end, like, when it was his last time, I was like, he's not done.
Yeah,
Like,
you're still waiting for it.
Yeah, there's no way. And they kept the camera on him for so long where you're like, okay, so there's going to be something else. I like the part where he was like, he just got that long always stare and he's like, it's so hard to go.
Yeah, gonna miss you guys.
Do you see that bright light? Oh, it's just the sun. It's just
Yeah.
the sun. So good, man.
That's good.
So good. Did you see? I don't know if you keep up with it. The Logan Paul and KSI fight or whatever, the YouTubers.
No,
that had
so
that
I
fight.
saw that they boxed, but I want to watch it. So I would like for us to hold this conversation until next week, and I will. I'm going to watch that
Not
video.
next week, right? It'll
Not
be
next week. Yeah, the week
be a
after.
couple weeks, yeah.
Yeah. And we can do a fight breakdown on it.
Okay. I
And
haven't watched
I don't
it
wanna
either.
know-
I
I
just
think-
know how it ends. Do you know how it ends?
I think I know how it ends, but I don't know for sure. So I'm gonna watch
Okay.
it and I'm gonna score it during
Alright.
during the fight, and I want
I
to
like
see
it.
where I end up.
I like it. Along those lines, as the undercard, Logan Paul and KSI's siblings fought each other.
Really?
Yeah, so like Jake Paul and whatever
That's
KSI's
amazing.
brother, but they fought each other, and then after the fights, after later in that night or morning or whatever, Des Bryant, currently a free agent, was with the Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys. He sent Jake Paul a DM on Twitter, and he's like, I see you, or he's like, I see you, bro. And then 6 minutes later, he's like, oh, I thought I sent that to your brother, sorry. Or he said, LOL. Thought I sent that to your brother, LOL. And then Jake Paul was like, he's like, oh, congratulations on the $60 million contract signing. Oops, thought I sent that to, I forget who it was, some other person that had signed a contract recently. Des Bryant hadn't. And then Des Bryant went on Twitter and he's like talking about getting in a ring with Jake Paul. I'm like, don't. Just stop it.
Oh my god.
You're better than that. But part of me is like, I would love to see Des Bryant
just chew him up.
Just annihilate. He's not a professional fighter, but the dude's
He's
a
athletic
genetic
and
freak.
Yeah, he won the genetic lottery.
Yeah, so
He's perfect human right there.
part of me's like, please make it happen. But another part's like, all right, stick to football.
Don't do anything too stupid, but do
Yeah.
it for my entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll cover that fight. I still have to watch it myself.
I'm gonna watch it right now.
Oh, you don't want to sign off?
No, let's sign off. I got homework to do. Jumbled homework.
It's true, jumbled homework. And if you guys want to do some jumbled homework as well, if you already watched the fight, then let us know what your thoughts on it were. Maybe hold off until we cover it, so there's no spoilers or anything. If you haven't watched it, then give it a good old watch, and then let us know if you think it should have ended a different way. If you guys want to follow us on social media, just search for Jumbled Podcast. If you want to send us an email, that'd be jumbledpodcast@gmail.com.
Or johnny.jumbled@gmail.com.
Yep, johnny.jumbled@gmail.com, which I think is hilarious that you actually made that. It makes me really happy. And, of course, you're listening to us somewhere, but we're on every single platform that I have come across. If you need a list, we're on Stitcher, we're on Player.fm, we're on TuneIn, we're on iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, we're everywhere. SoundCloud, we're still over there. So head over, give us a listen. Head over to iTunes, give us a rating or review. It would help out a lot. We would appreciate it immensely. Thanks to Audible for sponsoring this week's podcast. If you want to get your free audiobook, head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled. And you're welcome for that. And if you want to be a patron, head over to patreon.com/jumbled.
Get us in a dress. Get us in a dress.
Get us in
That's a new hashtag.
Yeah. Hashtag get us in a dress. I love it. So we'll see you guys next week. Johnny, we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, a couple weeks. I'll miss you guys.
Congratulations in advance.
Thank you.
We're all super happy for you. Enjoy your week away from everything and everybody.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
And you know, go hard in the paint on that wedding night, brother.
Oh, you know it.
All right, dude. We'll see you guys next week for another episode of Jumbled, your favorite podcast.
About Batman in the streets, Virgin Angel in the sheets.
Oh, shit, son. That just happened. All right, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.